Hello everyone and welcome to my The Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, March 9th to March 20th, reveal that fans will see some sneaky moves and unleashed fury. So let's discuss all the major plot developments that are coming up. During the week of March 9-13, Phyllis Summers will vow to trade Chancellor for the release of Jack Abbott, Lily Winters and the twins. While Victor Newman decides whether he'll accept that deal, Jack will be busy trying to manipulate Patty Williams with the promise of a kiss on the yacht. Jack will do his best to at least get out of that room and get Patty to show him around. Since Jack doesn't have his phone, he may be eager to look around and see if he can find one. Back in Genoa City, the Abbotts will mull over a potential lead while Nikki Newman figures out that Victor kidnapped Jack. That realization may come after Nikki's growing suspicions and an enlightening conversation with Phyllis. Diane Jenkins Abbott will eventually put Phyllis on full blast, so Phyllis's deal with Victor won't go according to plan. Victor may decide he's willing to give up Lily and the twins for Chancellor, but he'll need the whole Newman empire to free Jack. Phyllis might stick with only surrendering Chancellor and let Jack remain a captive for now. That could certainly rile up Diane and would explain why Nikki is about to be pushed to her limit. Victoria Newman will rush to Victor's defense and will apparently feel like her father's just doing whatever it takes to get back their family legacy. As for Kane, he'll be relieved when he's finally able to make things up to Lily. Of course, Lily could have a confession to make about being in on Victor's scheme and agreeing to help get through to Kane. None of that may matter to Kane as long as Lily and the twins are safe. Kane may prove how much he cares, so this could be the first step toward a real romantic reunion. Back with Jack, Y&R spoilers say he'll get tangled up in Patty's twisted web and get some unsettling news. Patty's going to set a trap for Jack, so it won't be long until he tumbles right into it. Next, Sienna Bacall will help Nick Newman and Sharon Newman with their mission to find Matt Clark, so some old contacts might point her toward Las Vegas. Since that's where Adam Newman lived as Spider before his most recent return to Genoa City, it looks like he'll pitch in on trying to find out where exactly Matt's staying. Adam will come through with some game-changing intel which could set the stage for his upcoming trip to Vegas with Nick. The hunt for Matt could lead both Nick and Adam there as they try to stop him for good. The week of March 16th, the 20th of May kick off the Vegas action while Mariah Copeland's kidnapping trial begins back in GC. Christine Blair Romalotti is hoping she can get a mental health facility stint for Mariah instead of a prison sentence, so stay tuned to see if she can pull it off. Naturally, there'll be some wild Patty developments as well. Jack will be in over his head with Patty and could potentially have to cross some dangerous lines to get out of this mess. As for Nikki, she may bring back her divorce threat and insist she'll truly leave Victor unless he surrenders Jack immediately. Will Nikki be able to get through to Victor, or will the Abbotts find out Jack's on Lake Michigan and pull off a rescue? Whatever the case, the Young and the Restless spoilers say there's much more Jack drama to come, so stay tuned. The coming weeks on The Young and the Restless promise a storm of secrets, manipulation, and explosive confrontations as Genoa City braces for the ripple effects of choices that could change everything. As the week of March 9th through March 13th unfolds, tension hangs thick in the air, and at the center of it all stands Phyllis Summers, whose desperation to save the people she cares about pushes her toward a risky and controversial bargain. With emotions running high and loyalties hanging in the balance, Phyllis boldly vows to trade Chancellor in exchange for the freedom of Jack Abbott, Lily Winters, and Lily's twins. It is a gamble born from urgency and fierce determination, but whether that deal will actually be accepted rests in the hands of the powerful and unpredictable Victor Newman. As Victor carefully weighs the offer, the entire city seems to hold its breath, knowing that any decision he makes could ignite a new war between two of Genoa City's most influential families. Meanwhile, far from the familiar streets of Genoa City, Jack finds himself trapped in a situation that feels increasingly surreal and dangerous. Isolated and without his phone, Jack's only path to freedom may lie in manipulating the unstable emotions of Patty Williams. Inside the confines of a yacht floating somewhere on the waters of Lake Michigan, Jack carefully crafts a delicate strategy, dangling the promise of a kiss in hopes of persuading Patty to trust him just enough to loosen her grip. His goal is simple but incredibly risky: convince Patty to let him out of the room and perhaps even give him a tour of the yacht. If he can move freely, he might be able to find a phone or some other way to reach the outside world. Every word he speaks is calculated, every gesture deliberate, because one wrong move could send Patty spiraling into another unpredictable emotional storm. Back in Genoa City, the situation begins to unravel in unexpected ways as the Abbott family gathers to consider a possible lead in Jack's disappearance. Anxiety and suspicion swirl through every conversation, and slowly the truth begins to surface. Nikki Newman starts to piece together the clues, her instincts guiding her toward a chilling realization. After growing increasingly suspicious and having an eye-opening conversation with Phyllis, Nikki finally connects the dots and comes to the shocking conclusion that Victor himself is responsible for Jack's kidnapping. The revelation lands like a thunderclap, shaking the fragile balance within the Newman family and forcing Nikki to confront the man she has loved for decades about a betrayal she never imagined. As the tension escalates, Diane Jenkins Abbott refuses to stay silent any longer. When she learns about Phyllis's secret deal with Victor, Diane unleashes her fury without hesitation, publicly putting Phyllis on blast and exposing the dangerous gamble she's been orchestrating behind the scenes. What was meant to be a calculated plan quickly spirals into chaos, and the deal Phyllis envisioned begins to crumble before it can even take shape. Victor, always the master strategist, considers a compromise of his own. He may be willing to release Lily and the twins in exchange for Chancellor, but when it comes to freeing Jack, Victor's demands grow far steeper. In his mind, the price for Jack's freedom isn't just Chancellor, it's the entire Newman empire itself. Faced with that impossible demand, Phyllis may refuse to budge. Her original offer stands firm: Chancellor in exchange for the others, but if Victor insists on more, Jack may remain trapped for the time being. Such a decision would undoubtedly ignite a fierce backlash, particularly from Diane, whose patience has already worn dangerously thin. Nikki too finds herself reaching the breaking point, the emotional strain threatening to shatter her loyalty to Victor altogether. Yet within the Newman family, not everyone sees Victor as the villain in this escalating conflict. Victoria Newman rises fiercely in her father's defense, convinced that Victor's ruthless actions are simply the price of reclaiming the legacy that rightfully belongs to their family. While power struggles rage among the Abbotts and Newmans, another emotional storyline begins to unfold with unexpected warmth. Kane Ashby finally gets the chance to repair the damage that has long weighed on his relationship with Lily. When he realizes that Lily and the twins are safe, a wave of relief washes over him, opening the door to long-awaited reconciliation. Yet Lily may carry a confession that complicates everything. She may admit that she secretly cooperated with Victor's scheme, agreeing to help reach Kane in a desperate attempt to resolve their past. For a moment, the truth hangs between them like fragile glass, but Kane's response may surprise everyone. In the end, none of it may matter to him as long as Lily and their children are safe, and his actions could prove just how deeply he still cares. In that moment, what begins as forgiveness may slowly blossom into the first hopeful step toward a genuine romantic reunion. But while some relationships begin to heal, Jack's situation only grows darker. The deeper he ventures into Patty's fragile world, the more entangled he becomes in the twisted web she has spun around him. According to spoilers, Patty isn't nearly as naive as Jack hopes, and she soon prepares a trap designed specifically to test his loyalty and affection. Jack, desperate and running out of options, may walk straight into that trap without realizing the danger until it's far too late. And when the truth finally hits, the news Patty reveals could leave him deeply unsettled, raising the stakes of his captivity to terrifying new heights. Elsewhere, another high-stakes mission quietly begins to take shape as Sienna Bacall steps in to assist Nick Newman and Sharon Newman in their search for the elusive and dangerous Matt Clark. Using a network of old contacts and buried connections, Sienna begins tracing Matt's movements, and the trail eventually leads somewhere unexpected. Las Vegas. The discovery carries particular significance because that city holds a unique connection to another Newman brother. Years earlier, Adam Newman once lived there under the mysterious identity of Spider before his most recent return to Genoa City. With that history behind him, Adam may possess exactly the kind of insight needed to track Matt down. Drawing on his past experiences and underworld connections, Adam manages to uncover game-changing information about Matt's current location. The revelation changes everything and sets the stage for a daring new mission. Soon, both Nick and Adam may find themselves preparing for a tense trip to Las Vegas, determined to hunt Matt down and stop him before he can cause more harm. The brothers' journey promises danger, confrontation, and the possibility of long-buried tensions resurfacing between them as they work together toward a common goal. As the calendar moves toward the week of March 16th through March 20th, the drama only intensifies. The action in Las Vegas begins to heat up just as another emotionally charged storyline unfolds back in Genoa City. The trial surrounding Mariah Copeland's kidnapping case finally begins, casting a shadow over the entire community. Determined to protect Mariah's future, Christine Blair Romalotti steps forward with a bold legal strategy. Rather than allowing Mariah to face a harsh prison sentence, Christine hopes to convince the court that Mariah should instead receive treatment in a mental health facility. Whether the court will accept that argument remains uncertain, but the outcome could dramatically reshape Mariah's life. And through it all, the chaos surrounding Jack and Patty continues to spiral. Jack may soon find himself completely overwhelmed by Patty's increasingly dangerous obsession, forced to consider crossing lines he never imagined just to escape the nightmare he's trapped in. Back in Genoa City, Nikki's patience with Victor may finally run out, and she could revive the devastating threat she once made divorce. With heartbreak in her voice and determination in her eyes, Nikki may insist that unless Victor immediately surrenders Jack, their marriage will truly be over this time. Whether Victor will finally listen to Nikki's ultimatum remains to be seen. At the same time, the Abbotts may uncover the truth about Jack's location on Lake Michigan and begin planning a daring rescue of their own. One way or another, the storm that has been brewing across Genoa City is about to explode into action. And as these tangled stories collide, one thing becomes crystal clear. Jack Abbott's ordeal is far from over, and the coming chapters of The Young and the Restless promise even more shocking twists, emotional confrontations, and unforgettable drama waiting just over the horizon. The tension gripping The Young and the Restless refuses to loosen its hold as the story barrels forward, carrying every character deeper into a storm of betrayal, desperation, and fragile hope. Out on the cold, restless waters of Lake Michigan, Jack Abbott begins to sense that the psychological game unfolding around him is far more dangerous than he first realized. What began as a carefully calculated attempt to charm Patty Williams into letting down her guard slowly turns into something far more unpredictable. Patty's emotions shift like sudden gusts of wind across the lake. One moment tender and hopeful, the next dark and suspicious. Jack walks a razor-thin line with every word he speaks, aware that the slightest misstep could shatter the fragile illusion he has built. Still, desperation drives him forward, because every passing moment trapped inside the yacht feels like another door closing between him and freedom. Patty, however, is no passive player in this twisted situation. The more time Jack spends trying to manipulate her feelings, the more she begins to test him in return, probing his sincerity and watching his reactions with unsettling intensity. In her mind, this strange captivity is not cruelty, but destiny. A moment where the love she believes has always existed between them might finally bloom. That belief fuels the trap she quietly prepares for Jack, a calculated emotional snare designed to prove whether his affection is genuine or merely another lie. When the moment arrives and Jack unknowingly steps into the trap, the atmosphere inside the yacht shifts instantly from uneasy calm to suffocating tension. Patty's revelation shakes him to his core, forcing him to confront the terrifying reality that escaping her grasp may require choices he never imagined making. As Jack struggles to keep his composure, the walls of Patty's fragile world seem to close in around him, threatening to pull him deeper into a nightmare he may not be able to escape. Back in Genoa City, the emotional fallout from Victor's actions continues to spread like wildfire through both the Abbott and Newman families. Nikki Newman finds herself caught between love and moral outrage as the truth about Victor Newman's role in Jack's disappearance becomes impossible to ignore. The realization leaves her heartbroken and furious, forcing her to question the man she has stood beside through countless battles over the years. For Nikki, this is no longer just another ruthless business maneuver, it is a betrayal that crosses a deeply personal line. As the pressure builds, the fragile peace within the Newman household begins to fracture, with emotions running dangerously high. Nikki knows that if Victor refuses to undo what he has done, their marriage may not survive the consequences. Yet Victor remains, as always, immovable in his convictions. In his mind, everything he has done serves a greater purpose, protecting the Newman legacy and reclaiming what he believes rightfully belongs to his family. That belief is echoed fiercely by Victoria Newman, who stands firmly by her father's side even as the rest of the family struggles to reconcile his actions. To Victoria, Victor is not a villain but a patriarch willing to do whatever is necessary to safeguard the empire he built from the ground up. Her loyalty adds another layer of tension to an already volatile situation, widening the divide between those who condemn Victor's methods and those who see them as justified. As arguments erupt and alliances shift, the Newman family edges closer to a breaking point that could permanently reshape its future. Meanwhile, the emotional landscape shifts in a more hopeful direction for Kane Ashby and Lily Winters. After so many years of heartbreak, misunderstandings, and lingering resentment, the chance to reconnect feels almost surreal. The knowledge that Lily and the twins are safe fills Kane with overwhelming relief, dissolving much of the anger he once carried. When Lily confesses that she secretly helped Victor in his plan to reach Kane, the admission hangs in the air between them like a fragile confession of guilt. Yet instead of driving them further apart, the truth opens a path toward healing. Kane's response reveals a depth of love that time and distance have never truly erased, and in that quiet moment of vulnerability, the possibility of a genuine reunion begins to take shape. Elsewhere, another dangerous pursuit begins to gather momentum as Nick Newman and Adam Newman prepare to follow the trail of Matt Clark. With help from Sienna Bacall and a network of old connections, the search finally leads them toward the neon lights and shadowy underworld of Las Vegas. For Adam, returning to that city stirs memories of the time he once lived there under the alias Spider, navigating a life filled with secrecy and danger. That past experience now becomes an unexpected advantage as he uncovers crucial information about Matt's possible location. The discovery changes the course of the investigation completely, setting Nick and Adam on a collision path with a man who has already caused immense pain. As the brothers prepare for the journey ahead, the uneasy partnership between them carries its own undercurrent of tension. Years of rivalry and mistrust cannot simply disappear overnight, even when they share a common goal. Still, the urgency of stopping Matt forces them to work side by side, creating a fragile alliance built on necessity rather than forgiveness. The road to Las Vegas promises confrontation, danger, and the possibility that old wounds between the brothers may reopen at the worst possible moment. But if they succeed, they might finally bring an end to the threat Matt represents. Back in Genoa City, the courtroom becomes the stage for another emotional battle as the trial tied to Mariah Copeland's kidnapping case begins. The atmosphere inside the courthouse is thick with tension as families, friends, and onlookers gather to witness a decision that could change Mariah's life forever. Determined to protect her client from a devastating prison sentence, Christine Blair Romalotti presents a bold legal argument. Rather than punishment alone, she insists that Mariah needs treatment, pushing for a court-ordered stay in a mental health facility instead of incarceration. The outcome of that plea remains uncertain, but the stakes could not be higher. As these storylines collide, one final confrontation looms on the horizon. Nikki, pushed to the edge by Victor's relentless stubbornness, prepares to issue a heartbreaking ultimatum. If he refuses to surrender Jack and end this dangerous scheme immediately, she may truly walk away from their marriage. For Victor, the threat forces him to weigh two things he values above all else: his empire and the woman who has stood beside him for decades. The choice he makes could alter the future of the Newman family forever. And somewhere out on Lake Michigan, Jack continues fighting for his freedom, unaware of just how close his family might be to discovering the truth about where he is being held. Whether Nikki's ultimatum breaks Victor's resolve or the Abbotts manage to launch a daring rescue of their own, the tension surrounding Jack's fate is building toward an explosive climax.